What up, though? Good evening and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unfiltered on Notoriously Opinionated. It's your man that goes by many names and monikers. I'm going with I'm rebranding myself. For those of you that ain't figured it out by me changing my name on Facebook, IG, and pretty much on my social media platforms, Scrap the Film Guru. So those of you that did not know, I do got a whole videography cinematography company. I do photographs, I do video, I've shot short films, I've been a DP on feature film. Uh, I know what I'm doing behind the camera, and I'm pretty good DP. So just in case you didn't know why I changed it to Scrap the Film Guru. All right. So let's do this. Like I said, if it wins, it begins. So here's how we gonna begin. Shout out to my 10U flag football team, the One Shots. So I'm pretty sure none of them is watching this. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all that this is how it went. So we were supposed to have a tournament that would, we play it out, a bunch of teams come in, bunch of kids having fun. They would have a little blast and win the tournament for a championship. They would get some little trophies, the whole hook, right? Yeah, that didn't happen. So, but I'd already told these little dudes that they was gonna be playing for a championship last weekend, and so we had to figure something out. I had to do some quick thinking because I'd already told them, and they've been practicing, and so they came ready to play. They show up, and by this time, I already know that the tournament is canceled, but I gotta sell this to these little dudes somehow, some way, because they little hearts is gonna be broken. They're gonna be disappointed. So I'm like, all right. So it's a 13U team in there. I got a 10U team, right? That means the oldest player on my team is 10 years old. The youngest player on my team is 8. So I got 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, and 10-year-olds on this team. We played a 13U team. The oldest kid on their team was 13 years old. This kid looked like he could be the offensive line. He could be on the offensive line of the Giants. I'm not playing. This kid was huge. And they had 11, 12, and 13-year-olds. We'd already played this team twice. We beat them the first time. They beat us the second time. So the way I sold it to my squad was, hey, you beat this team, y'all come in first place. Which is really not, out of the question, because these kids have only lost 2 games all season. One of those games I wasn't there. I didn't coach that game, but I heard they lost. They said they lost by 6. It's cool, right? And I'm gonna get to this whole losing myth theory thing here in a second. But so I told them if they beat this team, they come in first place, which again is not really far-fetched. So they went out there and these kids balled, right? They did their thing. They ended up beating this 13U team again, and it was really never in question, that they was gonna win. I could tell they was gonna win just how fired up they was at the beginning of the game. So shout out to my little team, One Shots, for coming in first place in this rec league tournament. I'm proud of them, and the thing about having a youth sports team, I don't care what the sport is, football, baseball, basketball, boxing, whatever it is, gymnastics, I don't care what it is. If you deal with youth and you're coaching youth, right, the goal should be for them to walk away with something that they didn't have before they start playing with you, for them to have learned something from you that they couldn't have learned elsewhere, because you're going to put it may be the same lesson, but nobody's going to put it the way that you put it, So my thing is always this. I tell them, we ain't never lost a game. It's like, yeah, we have, coach. No, you never lost a game having played with me. Never. I don't lose at all, ever. I don't lose. You've never lost a game playing with me. Remember that team we played? Listen, you may not have won, but we didn't lose. There's a difference. If you learned why you did not come out victorious in this particular contest, you didn't lose. You learned and you grew. So when you come back next time, you're not gonna face that kind of defeat again the same way. If they beat you, they're gonna have to beat you a different way because you learned how they beat you last time, and thus you didn't lose. You learned and you grew. And they learned that, you know. So that's kind of where I'm at, you know. Shout out to my little to my 10U team coming in first place. I'm gonna get them a little dude something. I don't know what yet, but they expecting trophies. So we don't have to work on that. All right. But let's get to it. I got some stuff coming up. You know, we're gonna talk Chiefs, we're gonna talk election tonight. Unfiltered, unscripted, notoriously opinionated. Let's go. All right, so as y'all know, I love a winner. You know, I don't do if it bleeds, it leads. I do if it wins, it begins. And I love a winner, right? So shout out to Donald J. Get the hell out of here if y'all thought I was about to do that. Y'all lost y'all minds. If y'all really thought I was about to do that, y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Anybody that thought that was about to happen, you ought to be ashamed of yourself and you watching the wrong show. Anyway, shout out to them Kansas City Chiefs. Right? I ain't wearing all this for nothing. I ain't wearing all this for nothing. Shout out to them Kansas City Chiefs. My bad. Let's rewind. I think I lost 2 viewers because I played too much. Anyway. Shout out to them 8-0 undefeated Kansas City Chiefs. Them. That part. Right? Shout out to them. So here's what I want to get into in regards to the Chiefs tonight, right? Number one, trade deadline's over. They had a chance to get, they was in the Marshawn Lattimore sweepstakes, right? Marshawn Lattimore is one of the way better cornerbacks in the league. Cornerback is one of the positions that the Chiefs are really kind of lagging in, opposite Trent McDuffie, right? Trent McDuffie a beast, right? He can't do it all. You know, Snead gone. We gotta just cut the tie, let that go. You know, start the healing process. Whatever it is we need to do that, right? We don't got Snead no more, right? But we're getting exposed on this other side with Williams. Every time this dude come in, he either get a flag or does something jack ball stupid. You know, and he's starting to piss me off, right? So they playing cornerback by committee on the side opposite of Trent McDuffie, you know, like he can't do it all. And let's just face it, Justin Reed is not a cover safety. You know what I'm saying? He's a hitter. He's good in the run game, but he gets exposed in the pass game. He was the most scored on safety in the NFL last year, right? So we have to have corner help. And that was with Snead. Come on now. Come on in. That was with Snead and McDuffie. You talking about you losing Snead and now we going to get cornerbacks from Southeast High School? Come on now. No, no, we gotta. I really wish we would have been able to tighten up the cornerback spot, right? Because now, whew, we got to get pressure. Thank God we got Josh Uche. So Josh Uche is going to be one of our specialty situation edge rushers. So you got him coming. You got Karlaftis. You got 95 coming up through the middle. That's going to be formidable. You know, so we got a formidable forward to where we don't have to always send the blitz. The only reason we're gonna have to send maybe one extra is because they gonna double team 95, right? They gonna double team the best defensive lineman in the league. They gonna double team him, and he's still getting through. But sending that fifth one, Spags is known to send the blitz. He gonna send it. It's just a matter of when, because they gonna keep fake blitzing and whatnot until they actually do send it, and then when they do send it, they get money. So what can you say about DeAndre Hopkins? What can you say about D Hop? D Hop, I wanted him 2 years ago. Let's just keep it a buck. Anybody that's a true Chiefs fan knew that we could have got D Hop 2 years ago, and somehow the Tennessee Titans found a way to snake him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they blocked the trade with us. I don't know what the deal was, but we didn't end up with D Hop. D Hop now, like, he feels at home. Like, the years with Arizona, the years with the Tennessee Titans, all these were years that he was basically on the shelf. Like, the man was getting like maybe 300 yards a season. The man had 86 yards with us Monday. So he still got some tread on them tires. Trust that. D Hop is still formidable. It was three defenders on that man. It was three defenders on that man. Got some of the best hands in NFL history. Not in the NFL right now. D Hop got some of the best hands in NFL history. That is exactly what Pat needs. Pat needs reliable hands. We done had too many receiving cores that just had a fit of the dropsies. You ain't got to worry about that with D Hop. D Hop got secure hands. This kid, Xavier, got good hands. He's got to work on his feet now. Like, he got to know where the out of bounds is. The boy got good hands. The boy got great speed. He's got to work on the saying you ain't in college no more. You got to get both feet in. All that tiptoeing down the tulips and getting one foot in, and no, you gotta get one foot in, drag the other one. You gotta get, which is why D Hop is going to be invaluable to this kid. D Hop is the best thing that could have happened to the Chiefs for a variety of different reasons. Because after this man is gone, hopefully we re-sign him for like another year or two, right? Hopefully we re-sign him for another year or two. But for the time frame that he's here, even if it's just for the remainder of this season, right? He's gonna be a mentor to Xavier Worthy, which is valuable. That's value on top of value. We getting the value of him being on the field, and we getting the value in him giving toolage to the youngsters, right? That's double the pay, right? So shout out to them Kansas City Chiefs. Shout out to D Hop. And this is the first time they said that Pat is on the injured list. If anybody believes that Patrick Mahomes is not going to play in the next game that they play, I don't care if his ankle is broken. That boy gonna get on that field and he gonna sling that ball down the field, right? He gonna sling it because that's just what he is. He's a gamer. That's what he's gonna do. He ain't gonna listen. It's not gonna happen. But anybody that does not believe that Patrick Mahomes is playing MVP ball because his numbers don't necessarily say that he's playing MVP ball. Like I said before, Um, ask the opposing team. Now I said this before. Ask the opposing team when the score is tied and there's time left on the clock, and Mahomes got one or more timeouts left, how confident they feel that they're going to win this game. Case in point, Monday in that overtime, when that boy called the wrong side of that coin, and the referee was like, nope, it's day ball. Baker Mayfield, the look on Baker Mayfield's face was priceless. He was like, we gotta give these mothers, they get the ball. Can we reflip? Like, that was looking at on his face. He had a look on his face like, if he could have got in a DeLorean and used it for one thing, he would have went back in time and changed his coin flip call. He wouldn't have saved nobody they loved that had tragically died. He would have went back and changed his coin flip, because he knew you can't give this man the ball and he not go down and do what he's supposed to do. It's gonna happen. When same thing happened with San Francisco, same thing. Listen, you can't give Pat Mahomes the ball with a chance to win the game and he needs 3, 4, 6, or 7. He's ask the opposing quarterback. That's all you gotta do. Here's the real thing right now in regards to the Chiefs. Yes, I wish they would have got John Jones. I wish we wasn't gonna get Greg Newsom. I wish they could have got Marshawn Lattimore, but they was asking for too much. The Commanders went and got him. Okay, cool, y'all. All right, bet. The thing is this though. I've already said it, but I'm asking the question: is 17-0 on the board? They're 8-0. Is 17-0 on the board? Right? Are they talking about it right now? I know it's whispers of an undefeated season, right? It's whispers. It's on the board. It's definitely on the board. They're 8-0. It's definitely on the board. Is 17-0 realistic? It's 20-0 on the board. 20-0 means undefeated in the regular season, boom, 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 undefeated all the way to the Super Bowl. Winning a Super Bowl. Should they go for it? Should they go for the undefeated season and the Super Bowl? Some say no. Some say going for an undefeated season doesn't give them the rest that they need prior to going into the playoffs. Listen, you can sleep and rest when you die. My notorious opinion is this. You can take it or leave it, but it go like this. There is no team in NFL history that has gone undefeated in the regular season, then gone on to win a Super Bowl. No team's ever done it. The Miami Dolphins didn't do it. The New England Patriots didn't do it. Right? Lost in the playoffs. Didn't win a Super Bowl. Right? If the Kansas City Chiefs go undefeated and then go on to win a Super Bowl, that right there is legendary status. But we have to keep in mind, the Kansas City Chiefs have already won the previous 2 Super Bowls, which makes this the third one a dynasty. So you're talking about going undefeated in the regular season, going on to win the 3rd Super Bowl in a row for an undefeated dynasty? Come on, man. Come on. Come on in. Come on. The water's fine. Come on in. Come on in. Now, I understand that's a lot to put on them. I understand that it's a lot to do, right? But if you got the chance to do it as a player, come on, man. Come on, man. It's not like your ordinary football season. It's not like when the New England Patriots did it. If they would have went undefeated and went on to win the Super Bowl, that would have been cool, fine, and dandy, because they hadn't won the previous two. They hadn't won the one before. They hadn't won the year before. So to go on to win the Super Bowl for them and go undefeated, it would have been cool. You would have been the first team to do it. To go undefeated and then go on to win the Super Bowl. That would have been cool. That would have been basic legendary status to go undefeated and win the Super Bowl. But to go undefeated for the dynasty? Come on, man. It don't get no bigger than that. No one has ever even... All I'm saying is if they have a chance at it, they should go for it. If they find themselves 15-0 with who? Denver and... I just remember Denver is the last game of the season. If they find themselves 16-0 with don't sit pat. Matter of fact, I ain't gotta say that. If they find themselves 16-0 and they play in Denver, I guarantee you, Carson Wentz is not sniffing that field. Patrick Mahomes is gonna be out there. Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm put to you like this. If Pat got any say in it, Pat gonna be out there. Andy Reid, I don't know, because Andy Reid is liable to throw Carson Wentz out there and tell him go out there and win the game. But that's only if you got your starting receivers out there. You can't send him out there with all of the starters on the bench. You can't. I think the starters are gonna play. Here's why. If they're 16-0 at that time, they clinched a first round bye a long time ago, right? So they're gonna end up with a first round bye, which means they can go into that 17th game of the season, play their starters, and still get a week off. Get a week's rest, right? They'll still get some rest. They could rest them 2 weeks, and it's a toss-up. They can go 16-1. Which sucks, but I would understand it. Or they can play their starters, get 1 week off, and go on to the playoffs, go and get that first round bye, and go on and win the Super Bowl. I get it either way. But I'm just saying, when you got super legendary status on the board, man, you got to go for that. I don't care. You got to go for that. So I'm saying I'll go for it. That's my notorious opinion. You can take it or leave it. All right. On to, hold up. What's up, cuz? $72 went undefeated. Yeah, they didn't win the Super Bowl. The same two Dolphins went undefeated and did not win the Super Bowl. The New England Patriots, the year they got Randy Moss, they went undefeated and did not win a Super Bowl. So, the Kansas City Chiefs got a chance to go undefeated, win a Super Bowl for the dynasty, right? For the three-peat. That's a dynasty. That's legendary status. Like, that's legendary status. Period, point blank. That's legendary status. Our rookie is gonna be a legend. Just because he was on this squad. Our rookie is gonna be a legend. If he don't do nothing else, his claim to fame can be, I was on the undefeated 2024 Kansas City Chiefs team that went undefeated for the dynasty, and nobody can touch us. Greatest, when you're talking about greatest teams in NFL history, greatest teams of all time, that'll do it. No, he's not. He's better skill-wise, but no. And I am a diehard Chiefs fan, diehard Mahomes fan, and I'm still saying right now, he is right now on par with he's right now on, matter of fact, he's right now neck and neck with Joe Montana, right? Because this is the NFL hierarchy of quarterbacks. Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Patrick Mahomes, right? Patrick Mahomes is right here. They did not win the Super Bowl. The 72 Dolphins didn't win the Super Bowl. Mac, you tripping. Don't make me ask Google. The 72 Dolphins did not win the Super Bowl. Did the 72 Dolphins win the Super Bowl?
According to Pro Football Hall of Fame, the 1972
They did.
Miami Dolphins.
No, they didn't even have 17 games back then. Oh, they saying they went 17-0 and won. They beat this. Why am I thinking that the Dolphins did not win the Super Bowl? They went 17-0 because it was 14 games in the season. Did not know they won the Super Bowl. Thank you. I did not know. Hold up. Shut up, Mac. So they did go 17-0. I promise my whole life I didn't know they did that. I knew they went 14-0, but didn't know they won the Super Bowl. So, Mac, you old enough. You was probably the age you are now when they did win in 72. That's why you remember, because you was elderly when it happened. All right. But like my cousin said, no team's ever three-peated. Now that I am 100% positive of. There has not been a team in NFL history that has ever three-peated. Right. Exactly. That's why they pop champagne every year, because no team has ever gone undefeated. I didn't think they won the Super Bowl. You know, I was tripping. But what I was saying was, like, the quarterback hierarchy right now goes Brady because of the 7 rings, right? Montana, and then now before Pat came along, it was for real. It was Brady, Montana, and then Steve Young, right? But now he done passed Steve Young, he done passed Aaron Rodgers, he done passed the other dude from Green Bay, Brett. God, I can't remember. No. So they did put Troy Aikman in the conversation, but Troy Aikman wasn't. I guess they would have put Troy Aikman right behind. I don't know how, but I guess they could have put Troy Aikman top 5. You know, there's an argument that, you know, they could have put Troy Aikman top 5. Not a good one, but there was an argument. When you got okay, so Pat got the greatest tight end of all time, but and the season that Brady went undefeated, he had one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. You know, he had Randy. You did? They just sending that boy on 9s every doggone play, you know, because he wasn't going over the middle. So he was just going 9 corner post. That's That was his whole. That was his whole route tree. 9 corner, go route, corner route, post route, and they might send him on a jet sweep. That was his whole route tree, right? But Troy got 3 rings. They're not in a row though. Troy got 3 rings. They're not in a row. Troy had arguably one of the greatest running backs of all time. He had playmaker. Boy had the best offensive line in the league. Come on, man. That boy had a top 5 offensive line every single year. He had a top 5 offensive line every single year, and nobody has won, like not even Brady has won these rings the way that Pat's racking them up. You know what I'm saying? Like at this rate, Pat might catch him. At this rate, with this GM, Pat might catch him. Right? That's them's facts. Pat might catch him. However, if Pat wins this year, right, whether he goes undefeated or not, if they win the Super Bowl this year, he passes Brady. He passes Brady. I don't care. He passes Brady. In the GOAT conversation, he passes him this year if he wins this year, because the reason he's not past him right now before this year's Super Bowl is because Brady's the only one to really beat him in the Super Bowl, right? Knocked him out the playoffs in the AFC Championship when they played each other when Brady was still with New England, and then when he beat him in Tampa Bay for the Super Bowl. Now, technically, Brady didn't beat him. Them front 4 beat him. You dig? Them front 4 of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat him, right? But Brady was a quarterback. He got the he got the credit. So, Brady still ended up beating Pat. He beat him twice in meaningful games. So that's what that is. But if Pat gets this 3-peat, he's the GOAT. He is the GOAT, unquestionably. You talking about 4 rings, you talking about 4 rings, a 3-peat. Brady has never done that. No one has ever done that. That's legendary shit. And period. Just period. Pat's the GOAT. If he never wins another ring, and let's face it, he's gonna, but if he never wins another ring and he 3-peats with 4 rings, he passes Montana, he passes Brady, it's over with. If he goes undefeated, it's not even a question. I hope y'all this chatty when I get to talking about politics. So this is what I'm pissed off about. Here's what I'm pissed off at everybody about. Everybody has something to say about this damn election, all the way till I got on Facebook talking about, hey, you want to come on the show and talk about it? And then it was crickets. Now nobody want to talk about it. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care if you voted for Trump. I don't care if you voted for Kamala. I got grievances against both of them. I got grievances against Kamala. I got grievances against Trump. Now, my grievances against Kamala decreased the more I researched. My grievances against Trump increased the more I researched, right? Because my thing with this election, and so let me pause right here, right? Let me say this. I knew I didn't know nothing. I had a feeling that the WASPs were not gonna let Kamala win. The WASPs were not gonna let Kamala win, right? I feel you. I absolutely feel you, Mac. So, but here, and for those of you that don't know what a WASP is, it's a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, right? That's a WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. The white Anglo-Saxon Protestants were not gonna let Trump win. You dig? There were wives of wasps that was afraid to tell their husbands that they wanted to vote for Kamala, right? They wanted to vote for Kamala, but the the white Anglo-Saxon Protestants wasn't gonna let that happen. They just weren't. It's like you better vote for Trump living in this household. Um, my initial thing with Trump was this, right? Oh man, I gotta agree with you on that one, Mac. Because but hey man, like the song says, I can't tell you why. I can't tell you why Latinos love Trump. I don't get it. I don't. He is the main one talking about trying to deport y'all ass. What the heck? I don't understand it for the life and breath of me. I don't understand why Latinos feel it's got to be the ones. You know what? I don't get it. I just don't. My thing with Trump at first was before the research. Before the research, it was this. I remember when Trump was in office, I had more money in my pocket. That's what I remember. And the thing was acceptance. I completely agree. But they need to learn. Well, they can't learn from the black people because there's too many black folks trying to get accepted in this society too. Anyway, so I was going off of memory when I was remembering all the money that I was having during the first Trump administration. Then I did some research. Let the record reflect that Trump was the beneficiary in his freshman and his sophomore year of a Obama budget. So all of the unemployment numbers Trump was getting at first, them was Obama's numbers. All of the employment and economic strides that everybody attributed to Trump was the aftermath of Obama. He benefited for about 17, 18 months of what Obama did, right? And took credit for it, of course, because it's still happening during his administration. Then COVID hit. Then Obama's stuff started fading out. Then his plans started coming in. He blamed it on COVID. Really, it was his dumbass, bum-ass plan, that was tanking everything, right? But he got away with it because of COVID, right? He got all the way away with it because of COVID. So that was my thing really with that, because that was my only real thing about it. Was like, well, hell. But I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Here was my knock on Kamala. My knock on Kamala was, okay, it was political when she changed her status from Indian to African American. Now, originally, I, like maybe a lot of y'all, thought that when it was, because I'm just hearing it, I hadn't read a thing yet. I'm just hearing it, and upon hearing it, I'm hearing that she was Indian. Indoctrination, even though I know better personally because I've studied, but I realized that there is no such thing as an Indian in North America. They're not Indians. They're not. All you gotta do is go back, find my episode on where I'm trashing Columbus, right? Find my episode. Well, it's a few episodes where I'm trashing Columbus. Fuck Columbus. But find one of the episodes where I'm talking about Columbus. And in every episode that I'm talking about Columbus, I mentioned the fact that there's no such thing as Indians because Columbus didn't know where the hell he was. He thought he landed in India. He thought North America was India. And so when he saw people here, he called them Indians because he thought he was in India. But he was supposed to be this great navigator, and they still celebrating Columbus Day, dumbasses. Anyway, so when I heard Indian, I'm thinking, oh, these so-called Native Americans. Okay. But it wasn't. Her mama's really from India. Like, her mama is really Indian. They are the real Indians. They are from India. And her daddy's Jamaican, right? So I'm like, okay, yeah, you probably changed, but I understand why you wanted to. When you see Kamala Harris, you don't see an Indian woman. So the only way that she will be able to celebrate the Indian side of her heritage is to claim it, right? But she lived her life as a black woman. She went to a HBCU. She went to a HBCU. She's a AKA. She's a Sorrow. She lived the black experience. So whether she claimed it on a piece of paper or not, because that's what Trump was talking about and got everybody believing it. Hell, he had me listening to it for a second until, like I said, I don't believe nothing nobody say until I research it myself. I don't believe nothing nobody say. Let me see it for myself. And then, but the woman lived the black experience, whether she claimed it on a piece of paper or not, and whether her changing it was politically motivated or not is neither here nor there. She still lived the black experience. She went to an HBCU and is a sorrow in a black sorority. So how much blacker can you get? So anyway, like when you see her, you don't see some Indian woman. Get out of here, you know. Now, they're both politicians. Need I say more? Like they're gonna flip flop. They're gonna so my whole thing with politicians is this: it's like if you lie to if you or I lie to a federal employee, to a federal agent, rather, not an employee, but a federal agent, we can get charged with a crime. But if a federal agent lies to us, it's called politics. Speaking of your last, before any white man, Obama, you think there's gonna? It don't matter. So listen. All right, you want me to speak on it? I'll do you one better. I'm gonna put it up there. It took 43 white men to be POTUS before Obama. You think they're gonna let a non-white woman be POTUS first? Not. They wouldn't let a white woman be POTUS. So, and that goes to the misogynistic nature of the WASPs. The WASPs are not ready for a woman to be president or not. Now, here's my thing. I'm just hoping, because there's been a lot of conspiracies. This was ridiculous though. Like, I don't know if y'all heard that so back in like 2000, The Simpsons came out with an episode where Lisa Simpson, it was called like the Futures episode. I remember seeing it. Right? I don't remember them saying this because it didn't mean nothing to me at the time. But Lisa Simpson became president. Milhouse was like her chief of staff. It was crazy. And she says in the episode, well, former President Trump left us in a real bind, huh? Former President Trump. That's insinuating that Donald Trump was the president in this episode. So they called that way back then in their opening credits. They you know how they got all the things that Bart's saying. And so after that happened, it was like, it sucks to be right. So they were not happy about the fact, because they was making up some stuff and it ended up coming true. Right now you got a female president after Trump, you know. And the crazy juxtaposition was, and this wasn't an accident. This is why I'm like, come on now, y'all basing y'all stuff on The Simpsons. Lisa Simpson had on a purple suit, a purple skirt suit with some white pearls. And if you look it up, you'll see Kamala Harris wearing the exact same thing. The only difference is Kamala Harris got on all purple. Lisa Simpson had on a white blouse with a purple suit and some pearls. Kamala had on a all purple suit, purple blouse and the same pearls. They juxtapose. They putting them side by side, right? And I'm like, for real, y'all basing y'all shit off The Simpsons? Come on now. Um, at the end of the day, I thought the LBGTQIA plus people were gonna be Trump's downfall. I thought that for a hot second because they've taken down a whole lot of people. You do not want to spark the ire of the people that took 30% of the alphabet and made it their own. At the same time, the WASPs. It boils down to the WASPs, you know, and they weren't ready for a woman to be president, and they definitely wasn't ready for a black woman to be president, right? It's just, I don't think she's the right kind of black woman. She went to a HBCU. They may think she's a radical, you know, but at the same time, I didn't like the flip flopping that Kamala was doing, and I think for real, The View might have did her in. It may not have been a heavy piece, right? It may not have been a heavy piece at all. You thought the Swifties was gonna take down Trump? I don't think the Swifties is that powerful. the Swifties, they got some numbers, but I don't think the Swifties was gonna be enough to take him down. But can't stand you, Mac. Maybe forget my thought. The View. So Kamala went on The View, and this is one of the things that I really think helped take her down. When as bad as these last 4 years have been economically, right? Economically, this has not been really good years in the last 4 under Biden, right? You're talking about gas done went up, groceries done went up, home mortgages done went up. You know, everything has gone up under Biden. It's been economic hardship under the Biden administration. She is the vice president. And when they asked her, is there anything you would have changed over the last 4 years? She was like, I can't think of anything. Not one thing. What? You can't think of one thing that you would have changed over the last 4 years? How about helping groceries not be you got people at the grocery store holding their stomach, holding the food and looking at their arm like, you know, it might cost me this section of my arm to eat and feed my family. It's gonna cost me an arm. If I come next week, it's gonna cost me the leg. You know? And there's nothing that you could think of? Really? Come on. Like, nothing. And at the same time, now you got a felon that's running the country. You know what I'm saying? You got a whole felon that is your president. There you go. You asked for it. You got it. You have a whole felon that's running the country now. You got a whole felon that has nuclear codes. You know, most felons can't have a 22. He can destroy the earth. There you go. You know, there you go. A lot of one of the key arguments that I keep hearing is it boils down to abortion. Abortion was one of those hot button issues that was deciding votes for people. It's like Trump is saying we're not gonna. He was on one side of the abortion, Kamala was on the other, right? But the abortion thing was a real hot button issue, you know. And I think that was a big one, you know. So other than the WASPs, other than all that, my thing is this. Here's the only reason I'm interested in a Trump administration. I just want to see how this fool get down. I want to see a few things. One of the things that I'm really, really interested in, like really interested in, I want to see what he does with gun laws, right? Because I just got the sneaking suspicion that gun laws is about to get lenient with a felon in office, with a felon running the country. So that's one of the things. Two, I can't wait to see how this fool try to pardon himself. I'm waiting on that. This fool is going. He is good. Listen, if y'all don't think Trump, he already talked about it in the first administration when they was trying to get him with tampering with taking the classified stuff. Man, well, no, with election tampering the first time. They had him for election tampering. He was like, I ain't gonna do nothing but pardon myself if once I get elected again. He didn't think Paw Joe was gonna beat him. He thought he was gonna win that second election. He was gonna pardon himself, you know. So it Mac, not just a federal job. You should be able to get a good job. If a felon can be the president of the United States, you should be able to get a hell of a good job now. Like all that black box stuff, yeah, it's gone a lot of places, but they shouldn't be able to look at nobody's record when you got a known felon that was voted in to be the president of the United States. Come on now. All felons, man, listen, he's got to do something for felons. He really don't have a choice. He just don't. He don't have a choice but to do something for felons now, you know. But like that's cool. That's, you know, my guy, my producer waiting to see that. That's all he been talking about. But my thing, I want to see how this fool tries to pardon himself, right? Because even when he mentioned it the first time, it was up in the air as to whether he could do it or not. It's like, because the Constitution is kind of shaky. You know how on Wild Out when they doing the little battles, is like, it's shaky. You know, that's how the Constitution is on a president and being able to pardon him or herself. They say that the president has almost unlimited power to pardon. I don't think these so-called founding fathers ever thought that a president would be elected into office that was a criminal and he would have the opportunity to pardon himself. Well, yeah. If Trump pardons himself, though, that's a slippery slope. I don't think he cares. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he is definitely going to try to pardon himself on all of his federal cases, and then they're gonna drop all of the state cases. That's just my notorious opinion. You can take it or leave it. But yeah, I don't. He got the Supreme Court, and whether he has, I don't think he would get. I don't care if they Republican. I don't think he's gonna get 2/3 of Congress to agree with that. You know, he gonna have to write an EO or something. You know. Well, not if he writes an EO. If he pardons himself and writes an EO saying that he can do it, right? It's done. He doesn't need congressional approval if he writes an EO. That's how you get around all that. Obama did it. Every president does it. They write EOs to get things done, and all that happens is if an opposing party goes into office right after you, they just undo what you did with another EO. That's the whole thing about executive orders. If you write an executive order, it takes an executive order to get rid of an executive order. It takes uh 2/3 of Congress to make or take away a law. Like, and this is all constitutional interpretation. That's all it is. This is constitutional interpretation and the way that the law works. If it doesn't say it for real, then it's not real. I'm trying to say it in a way that I'm trying to say it in layman's terms, so I don't have to use legalese, because you're not going to understand it if I use legalese. So it's like, if it doesn't say that it goes like this, then it doesn't. That's the best way I can explain it to where a layman will be able to understand it. The law is saying what the law is saying, and if the law doesn't say it like that, then it's not like that, and that can work for you or against you, right? Uh, Yeah, nah, all felons ain't gonna get pardoned. But I know Diddy thinks he's hopeful. I don't know. I don't know why. You know, I don't know why he's. I don't know. I don't know why. Uh, so, uh, yeah. Let me see. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about? Because for real, the president can't. I don't think. I don't think legally the president can pardon himself. Legally, lawfully, I don't think the president can pardon himself. I just don't, But we shall see. Because ultimately, this presidency turned into people voted, and it's the same way the first time around. People voted for policies and not the person. They didn't care about Trump being a felon. They didn't care about Trump being an idiot. They didn't care about the public or the global perception of Trump. They looked at the policies that he's saying that he is going to do and things like that. They didn't care. They didn't care about the fact that the man lies every time he opens his mouth. They didn't care about that. They cared about the policies that he said he was gonna come true with, and they're taking it as that. Period. Felon, so what? They're gonna do what he did and blame it on the deep state. There's conspiracy theories that saying that it's the deep state that tried to assassinate him, right? But nicked him in the ear. Come on, man. But yeah, they said he was being targeted by the deep state. But I'm very interested to see how this next 4 years is going to be. I'm very interested to see if he ends up somehow, some way, pulling off some Julius Caesar type shit for real, because that's what Caesar did. Caesar. Look up how Julius Caesar ended up being like the undisputed leader of Rome forever. That's why they killed his ass, because they had a republic at first too. They had a Senate, and then he made himself not able to be impeached. Like, he became the sole ruler of Rome. Look up how Julius Caesar did it. Trump gonna try and do the same thing. I ain't saying he's gonna be successful, but if he can pardon himself, that's the first step to trying it, right? Yeah. Well, all he really did was say what he wanted to get accomplished. Immigration and abortion and the wall. He's still claiming that he is going to build 1,000 miles worth of wall. No, you're not. No, you're not. Do you realize how much land he gonna have to buy in order to put up 1,000 miles worth of border along? Come on, man. He gonna have to buy people's personal property. He's gonna have to get a lot of the rest of the property off of what's it called? Um, he gonna have to buy a lot of property, right? And it's just not gonna happen because all that property, the most of that property is private property, right? Uh, so it's just not gonna happen. But it's gonna be interesting. It is going to be, it is going to be entertaining. The 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 winners and the losers. I'm only gonna talk about the winners. Like the one main winner of last night's election and Donald Trump winning the presidency again is Saturday Night Live. This fool about to get Saturday Night Live 4 more years of comedic gold. Trust that. Saturday Night Live was sad and happy at the same damn time. Because I don't think Lauren Michaels like him. But they was sad and happy at the same time. They about to get 4 years of comedic gold out of Trump. All right. I appreciate y'all for hanging out, man. Join me next week. Notoriously Opinionated. This has been Unfiltered and Unscripted on Notoriously Opinionated. See me next week. Same notorious time. Same notorious station. Hey, keep in mind, scrap the film guru, right? Check me out on all social media platforms. Last thing before I go. How the hell I got almost 1,000 followers on Facebook and I don't have almost 1,000 subscriptions on YouTube? Go to my YouTube channel, Notoriously Opinionated on YouTube. Subscribe to my Notoriously Opinionated YouTube channel so you don't miss none of the content. You're going to get it on Facebook anyway. You're going to get it on Instagram. You're going to get it on Twitch. You're going to get it on YouTube, right? But my YouTube channel has other content other than just NO, right? So go subscribe if you have not. If you are already not a subscriber of Notoriously Opinionated on YouTube, go subscribe to my YouTube channel. You'll see some of my short films. You'll see whenever I put out new content, when I make new short films, and you'll be the first one to see the feature if it goes to YouTube and not to a bigger platform. But I really always want to put a lot of my stuff on YouTube eventually. But got to make the money first. Then we'll go to YouTube later on. But until next time, it's been your man. Peace. I'm out.